Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X or Cross Universal Monsters Donatello as the Invisible Man Ultimate Action Figure. One of the better releases, I think, in this wave so far, in this series, not wave. It's pretty darn cool, has some very nice features, some things that are a little bit questionable, but overall it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands, including his hat, about 6 3/4 inches. That's going to make him roughly, we'll say 17 centimeters without the hat. I'll do another measurement for you guys. About 16 centimeters, a little bit more. And that's going to be about 6.5 inches. Right around there. All right, we're going to do a question of the day right off the bat. Which of these figures, these releases from NECA, the Universal Monster ones, is your favorite so far? This guy's pretty close. I think he's up there. I think, I'm just not a fan of the choices they made. Like, if there was Werewolf Leonardo, I'd be all about it. I think Invisible Man Donnie's probably the best cast one so far. The Frankenstein one just didn't really do it for me. I wanted it to be like the ones I had as a kid. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. All right, so here he is up against Darwin, and he's just a touch taller. Okay, let's talk about the aesthetic. NECA freaking nailed it on this one. Goodness gracious. Look at that jacket. Not only is the sculpt work immaculate, the texturing, the wrinkles, all the detail work in there, but they also did a nice wash and nice paint work for the buttons. They painted the trim around the lapel and down the front of the jacket. The sculpt work on the straps, nice wash to bring it all to life. Even in there on the pants, there's washes. Same thing for the knee pads. They just have so much going on for this figure that it looks wonderful. He does have the transparent feet because he's the Invisible Man. Apparently it's possible to find gloves that fit your turtle hands, but not shoes. But anyway, it's just really, really well done. And then they did this, which I guess some people are probably going to really like this. They made him an invisible shell to put over his coat, which I don't understand how that works at all. Their shells are not removable. And the whole storing stuff inside the shell, I get that that was a thing for toys at one point. I don't believe that is ever canonically a thing they can do. It made sense enough for the Leonardo Igor one. This does not make sense at all. He has pizza slices apparently just floating in his invisible shell. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there at all. It's in concept, I guess, kind of cool to give him a clear shell, but the fact that it's outside of his coat and there's pizza in it, I don't know what. I have no idea what's going on there. Well enough executed, looks cool, but also looks really silly, so that's totally up to you to decide. But all the detail work on this guy is nuts. The cool thing is, these come on him in the package, but they do also come off, and he has no eyeballs behind there. I mean, it's transparent plastic because he's Invisible Man, so that's pretty nice. Good detail work all the way around. I think it's really well proportioned. All the colors go nicely together, the finishes. This thing is a really, really attractive figure. So I'm going to give it an aesthetic rating of 9 out of 10, at least. It could easily be higher. You could argue for higher. I think this is a detraction, though, personally. Again, you could totally argue that it's cool and it doesn't matter. That doesn't make sense, but I just don't get it. I don't get it, so I can't say I like it. Okay, let's talk about the accessories. You already saw the goggles for the normal head. You do get an alternate head where it's completely hollowed out, and he does have the hair sticking out and everything. That's a throwback directly to the Invisible Man. That's a cool accessory. For hands, you have a nice variety of gloved hands for posing and holding and whatnot. You do get a set of transparent hands to really sell the effect, so that's cool. You do get an alternate set of feet also being fully transparent. I like that. I think those are really cool, clever accessories. You already saw the hat, so that doesn't really count for much. You do get this weird little laser gun thingy. No, of course, I'm only joking. This is a microscope. You get that very nicely detailed. You get a little beaker with a mixing thing. You get a book that says TGRI, which is the company who makes the ooze. And then you get probably the best detailed bow staff for Donatello that any company has ever made. Very, very nicely done. Great spread of accessories, if you ask me. Very pleased with that. I will go... I want to say 10 out of 10, but I'm only going to do 9 because I think it would have been cool to have a completely transparent head to go along with the feet and hands, as if he had been unwrapped completely. I think that would have been cool. I guess it doesn't technically make sense, but because you could still see it, but I still think it would have been nice. If you're gonna go with the non-actually invisible but transparent plastic hands and feet, a head would have been nice. All right, let's talk about the articulation on this guy. The head, this head moves around on top of the neck, and the neck moves. There's some ball pegs in there. Pretty good range, a little bit of limitation due to the clothing, but it should be fine. No real issues there. Shoulders, they go up to just about horizontal, not quite, but pretty much there. Full rotation, no problem at all. No bicep swivel up here, but you do get the double jointed elbow that swivels at both ends. Elbow pad definitely gets in the way though, so limited range for sure. It's good looking, but that range is severely limited by this elbow pad that you can't really get out of the way. So that's a bummer. Wrists all have a swivel and a hinge. Do any of them have vertical hinge? Don't believe so, it doesn't look like it. Torso articulation, there is some underneath this belt, which is so incredibly well hidden. I didn't notice it was there at first when I was looking at this guy out of the package. You actually can pose him around. Actually, probably like better than every Ninja Turtle figure they've ever released. It moves around really nicely, and that belt hides it perfectly. They did a great job of lining up the clothing. That's great. Really well done. For the hips and waist, can you separate the waist from the jacket? It doesn't feel like you can. Hips aren't really going anywhere because of the way the jacket is. Yeah, you're not really getting anything done here. He's just going to be standing for the most part. A little bit of range, but not much. The knee joint, it's a single with a swivel. That's what it feels like. Again, you're not really doing anything with the lower legs or with the legs on this guy just because the jacket, so it doesn't really matter too much. Ankles have a rotation where they separate, and then of course you have your hinge, which works really nicely, and your ankle rocker, which is good. So is it the craziest posing figure ever? Definitely not. Is it going to be good enough? I think for sure. I'm going to give it a 7. It's good enough. It's not bad. It's good for what it is. Definitely could be a lot better. So not going to be for super dynamic poses, but it is going to look damn good in whatever pose you put it in. So time for a final verdict on this release. I think it's one of the more reasonable releases. I still think it was a really weird choice to do Leonardo as the Hunchback, just because the Hunchback's not really a character anybody cares about as far as I'm aware. So that's strange. If I had this guy and then Leonardo as the Wolfman, and then even Frankenstein and the Mummy, that would have been fine. That would have covered the 4 main ones. I don't know why they didn't do that. Or Dracula would have been a good one too. Dracula as Donatello would have been better. I think that's what it was as a kid. Anyway, this is a good choice. I think this is an all-around solid release. They executed well, and it was a good choice. So I'm going to give this an overall rating of 8 or 9 out of 10. It depends on how much you value articulation. I think 8 is a fair objective review. If you don't care and understand that these aren't going to pose that well, then you could easily argue 9 because of the aesthetic and the accessory. But I'm going to stick with 8 as my objective reviewer position. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.